Good morning. You're joining me today in the kitchen. I am being a proper housewife, a retired housewife today. And I'm going to be telling you what I'm doing here in the kitchen. But I'm also later in the video going to share my July budget, the spend, what I've actually spent in July. It is the 1st of August today. So that was my first job this morning, was going through my bank account, working out exactly where my money has gone last month. So that's coming up. I know lots of you get very impatient when I say I'm going to do something and then I spend a lot of time chatting. So if you're here just to see what I spend as a 59-year-old solo person who's retired, I will put some timestamps in the description. And if you only want to see what I spent last month, you can go directly there by following the timestamp. But if you want to hang around to spend a bit of time with me this morning, spend some time here in the kitchen, and I'm going to talk about what I'm doing, what I've been doing over the last week or so, then I hope you will stick around. And I am just about to make a cup of tea. The last time I did a video, I wasn't sure if I was going to be going away in the camper van this week, and I haven't. I've barely driven the van, to be honest, at all this week, and mainly because I've been a little bit tied to the house with a couple of deliveries, and I kind of thought, well, if I'm going to be here in the house, I might as well get on with a few domestic tasks, as it were. So that's pretty much what I've been doing this week. So it's mainly been a week of sort of organising, and I quite like to do that now and again. And I have done so much organising in this place since Mum went into the care home a year ago this month. There has been a lot of organising and curating. My mother loves china, glass, and there is so much that you couldn't possibly use in a lifetime. So I had some boarding done in the attic, and I've been up there sorting, tidying, washing, cleaning, getting all that stuff sort of sorted into boxes. And some of it is on display around the house. I've tried taking some little trinkety bits in for Mum in her care home. She's allowed a few bits in, but really doesn't want anything there and keeps telling me to take it home. So it's a little difficult. Alexa, stop. That is Alexa telling me my bread rolls are ready. Yeah. How much of a domestic goddess am I being? I hope they've turned out okay. I'll show you. I've been following recipes from TikTok, and this was sort of a no-knead bread rolls. They have joined up a little bit on the tray, but they can be separated. But look at these. Floury bread rolls. So I'm going to put them to cool, and I've got another batch going in, and I'll explain why all this baking in a second. Yeah, I think those are good. Boiling hot, as you can see, but look how soft they are. And I've got a couple more waiting to go in. So yes, completely domesticated this week. No camper van travels. I kind of am in and ahhing about going. It's Saturday today, so I'm thinking about going next week. But honestly, I'm not really sure, because now I've got into this tidy and sorting and organising phase again. I'm thinking I might as well just get it. There's a few jobs here at Mum's that I wanted to get done this year anyway, in terms of decorating. And I thought I might as well get it done now, because later in the autumn, as I said, I want to be away more in my van. And as it's school holidays, I'm sort of avoiding busy places because why would I do that when I can go any other time? So I'm using the time to be around my grandson. We've done a few nice things this week with my daughter as well. We've taken him to the seaside and he is such lovely company. He's really a pleasure to be around most of the time. But anyway, back to this baking thing. Now, I have always loved baking since I was a kid. Always loved baking. I love cookery books, got loads of cookery books. And I do tend to go through fits and starts with baking. I am more of a baker than someone who throws wonderful recipes and meals together, but I do love a bit of baking. And the last time I really got into baking, like so many of us, was during COVID. I had a bulk order of flour because do you remember you couldn't get flour or yeast in the shops? But I managed to get some and I was making bread every day at home and I really enjoyed it. But I've been seeing on TikTok these wonderful people making really quick and easy bread, and that's where those sandwich rolls have come in. And the other thing that's going through my mind, another reason that I'm doing this baking cooking, is I've talked before about how I'm really prioritizing my health and eating. I don't want to restrict my diet or go on calorie counting or any of the others. I want to enjoy a nice variety of foods. I'm trying to increase vegetables in my diet, eat a little bit less meat, but also I'm very aware of all of these additives in foods. You know, you go and buy a loaf of bread in the supermarket and the list, like some of it is a bit hyped up because some of it isn't particularly, I don't think anyway, unhealthy. But it's just, as I've got the time and the gadgets, then I might as well, because honestly, I enjoy the process of producing things like my little bread rolls down there. And I just know what goes into it. So yeah, I talked on my last video about Gusto, my meal box deliveries that I use a lot. They come to about £40 a week, and that's pretty much my main meals for the week in that. And because I share my code on social media, a lot of the times I get enough money back that I don't pay for that at all. But I haven't been ordering Gusto boxes because I'm in two minds whether I'm going to be going away. So I've put all my boxes on hold for a couple of weeks, which is another reason that I'm in the kitchen a lot. So there's a few reasons. I do love the process of baking and I'm trying to cut back on processed foods, which is another reason I like the Gusto, because they're generally cooking from scratch. And as I said, health reasons. So this latest kind of craze for cooking at home came about, because I'm at home, I'm not traveling in my camper van. I've started using a gadget. I've had this gadget for years. I can't remember when exactly, but at least 5 years. It's actually maybe a bit less than 5 years. It's quite heavy. It's an Instant Pot. Any of you recognize the Instant Pot? I bought it because we were a big family and we were cooking the usual chilies and curries and everything. And it was just easier to buy that because you could cook it in bulk. And I kind of had it on the shelf and forgotten about it. But over the last few weeks, my dog Teddy, who is elderly and diabetic, she suddenly went off tinned dog food because I've kept her on pretty much the same dog food because I know it suited her, she liked it. And she's never been a fussy eater. She'll normally just eat whatever I give her and what she shouldn't have. But anyway, she just started completely turning her nose up, which is unheard of. And she started liking dried food again, but that was upsetting her blood glucose. So I decided, my son did this for his dog going back a while ago. He started putting meals in a slow cooker for his dog. And I spoke to him and also spoke to ChatGPT, and we came up with a recipe for food for my dog, bearing in mind she is diabetic. And that's where this Instant Pot has come in. I honestly had forgotten how easy it is. I've been buying like turkey mince, sweet potatoes, frozen veg, whacking them all in here with a bit of water, and literally in 6 minutes, it's on pressure cook, I've got about 4 days worth of food for Teddy, and she is loving it. She is really loving it. So there's absolutely no waste. I haven't really worked out if it's less expensive or more. That's irrelevant, really. The fact is that she's eating it. Seems to suit her. And yeah, 4 days of food in like 6 minutes. So that started me on this Instant Pot. And then, because I was sort of on TikTok looking at recipes, I've come across so many really amazing recipes. I love Asian food. And a couple of days ago, I cooked, I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce it right. Somebody correct me. Bibimbap? Bibimbap? So it's like Asian rice meal with, got them out because I'm just about to make another batch. These are from Lidl, they're grass-fed thin steaks. Now, normally things like this, thin cuts of steak, I find really tough, but I marinate it in a bit of soy sauce, ginger, and a couple of other bits and pieces, sesame oil, marinate it for a couple of hours, slice it thinly, put it in my Instant Pot along with some rice, some veggies. So I've got a pepper to go in today, some mushrooms, a couple of spring onions, some carrots that have gone a bit bendy, need using up, and some frozen edamame beans. And I'm going to whack it in the Instant Pot. I use on the rice program, and I think it took about 12 minutes. Made it the other day. Absolutely gorgeous. It was like, didn't need to touch it, just threw everything in here, stuck it on for 12 minutes, opened the lid, and it was just stirred it up, and it was really nice. And I had enough for 2 days. Put the other half in the fridge, and I've got the rest of this to use up now. So I'm going to make it again today. So I will show you that process in a second. So yes, that's hence the pinion today. I put it on a bit late because I ended up with flour all down my front, and then I remembered I had this on the back of the door. So yes, that's the cooking element that's going on here at the moment. Oh, look at this. I'm obviously not going to be able to eat all of these. I actually don't eat much bread. I don't know why I made them, other than the fact that they look so appealing on this lady's TikTok account. And I don't buy bread because it tends to just go off. I don't eat much bread. But I saw these and I thought, oh, a nice bread roll with something nice in would be lovely to take on a little walk, so I can have a sort of a picnic. So that was the idea. So what I will do is keep 1 or 2 out and put the rest in the freezer. I like when things get simplified. And as I said, this, on my vision board and the way I want to live is more intentional. I want to not spend less as such, but just spend more intentionally. We will go through my budget now, and you can see what I've sort of been spending my money on this month. I've changed rooms to go through my budget. I literally did this on back of a napkin this morning. Just for a bit of context, in case you're new here, I am solo. I'm living in my mother's house at the moment. I probably will be buying a house, but at the moment I'm staying here. I don't have any mortgage or rent, and I sold, I'm just going through a divorce as well. We sold and completed on our house during the last month. So some of these payments are going to change because I'll be taking over like council tax, the broadband and other bills here at my mother's from now on, but they haven't really come through to my outgoings as yet. But this is a rough idea of what my costs are. I will link either up here or there. I will link the video that I did on my budget, which was my expected expenses per month, per year, based on how I live. I think it's reasonably frugal. A lot of people disagreed. A lot of people think I'm very extravagant. A lot of people think I'm very frugal. So I guess it's very personal. But I know people love looking at what other people spend, and I know I do as well. So this is what I spent in July, and I've kind of broadly categorized things to make a bit more sense. So first of all, food. I allowed in my budget £400 a month for food. I spent in July £415.81 on food. So I did go over my budget a little bit. One thing, and this has been really good for me, just because whilst I know what goes in and out of my account, I'm pretty good at knowing that. I don't particularly know what all of the money's going on. I know a rough budget, but it was really, really interesting to sit down this month and pick out where each bit's going. So generally I was within my budget, £15 over. But what I did notice going through the bank account today was my food budget was going on multiple trips per week to multiple different supermarkets. Like I like Lidl, Sainsbury's for what I can't get in Lidl, and it's years since I've done a full week shop in one go with a great big trolley. I can't bear that now. So I do tend to buy small amounts frequently. And as I said, normally I would have a Gusto box because it just saves having to go shopping for anything other than like breakfast and lunch. But I have had to go during July because I haven't had as many Gusto boxes. So it was a lot of frequent trips to the shops. And I was away for a week during July on a camper van trip. So again, I was stocking up quite frequently. But there we go, within budget, sort of. The next category is clothes and general. So general is kind of fun expenses. It's like going out with my grandson. Maybe we took him to the fair. We went on a couple of fairs. Just fun. I was away in my camper van, so it might have been a few coffees or things I wouldn't normally do day to day. And I have bought myself 2 dresses this month from Sainsbury's. They were in the sale and they were really nice. So I bought clothes. Again, don't tend to spend an awful lot on clothes. Nevertheless, my general expenses, oh, and in this as well, are those items that I'm waiting in for today. A couple of home things, furniture pieces, storage cupboards for my grandson's room, Amazon purchases, things like that. So £346.19, which is way more than I would normally spend. I normally allow myself sort of £200 for, just stuff, fun, entertainment, etc. But as I say, I know where that's gone. It's on the household items I've bought. Eating out, £33, and that was, I went out for lunch with a friend. While I've been on my camper van trips, and if I've been out with my daughter, we've also had the odd ice cream or coffee, but I bundled that in the general. Petrol, I allow myself 100 or 120 a month. This month I spent £69.49, and that included a week's trip doing quite a lot of drives around mid Wales. So I'm really happy with the economy on my camper van. My GLP-1, I spent £280 on that this month. That's a weight loss injection, in case you're wondering what GLP-1 is. Please don't talk me out of it. I know some of you are very worried about the fact that I'm spending so much on that. It's worked, and it's worked for me, so I'm keeping with it for now. Hopefully not forever, but just for now. Parking, £21.50. Spent quite a bit on parking last month rather. That was because I was away for that week, so I often stay overnight in car parks and then pay during the day. Also, I've been out in my camper van on day trips down the coast, and then you pay for the parking there. So yeah, £21.50 for parking. £236.72 on bills. So that is my bills for my mobile phone, various subscriptions that I use for creating content for social media, like my website hosting, my editing tool. That is the bit that's going to go up. My council tax hasn't come out this month. It'll come out in August because the house move was mid-August, so I'll have a bigger payment for next month. And as I said, now I'm here, I will be paying other bills in the house as well. So yeah, that is definitely going to go up. I had to spend £45 on a Royal Mail redirection. That's all to do with the house move, and it was a one-off payment, and I think it was for either 3 months or 6 months. I can't quite remember. So the total spend this month was £1,499.43. In terms of income, as I've explained on my previous budget video, my income is a combination of an NHS pension, which is quite small, and the income I get from social media, which is also quite small at the moment. So my income for July was £1,086.36. So that income has grown this last month, mainly I think thanks to me getting this channel going again. So thank you so much, all of you. Watching the ads has really helped with my income. But nevertheless, it did mean there was a shortfall in my spend versus income, which I fully expect. That's not a shock. If you've watched the budget video, you know that I don't earn as much as I spend, and I have savings to bridge that gap until my state pension kicks in. And also, as I've said before, I am hoping my social media and other income is going to increase so that I don't have to take out so much from savings every month. But for July, I transferred from savings £496.56. So what do you think of my spend? I think there was no real surprises in there. I suppose the surprise was how often I'm buying food, little bits here, little bits there. As you've seen me in the kitchen today, I think my shopping possibly for August could be a bit different. I'm not sure if it's going to work out more expensive than my Gusto, because as I've explained, when I order Gusto, because I talk about it on my social media and I share my code, people use my code and then I get money off my next order. So pretty much since I started doing that, I've not really paid much towards my Gusto deliveries. So that's been a real cost save for me. Obviously, I do still need to go grocery shopping for things like toiletries, cleaning products and other food, because I'm obviously not going to just live on one Gusto meal a day. But it does save quite a lot on my food budget. So it will be interesting to see what August is going to be like, because I've skipped all of August boxes thinking that I'll start again after the school holidays now in September. So I do plan on doing another little update so that you can see what August looks like. Hope you found it useful. And as always, let me know in the comments what you think of my budget. I thought before I go, I'm going to show you the assembly for my bibimbap. So I've got my Instant Pot. Let me show you. I've got some sushi rice in the bottom there with some water, and then I've got carrots I've cut finely, red pepper, frozen edamame beans, and some chestnut mushrooms. Oh, and a couple of slices of ginger have gone in there somewhere. I've been marinated the beef in soy, sesame oil, pinch of sugar and some spring onions, and I'm just going to lay that on top and then press a button and go. So there's the beef on top. Just going to switch it on. I'm going to seal the lid, put it so that it's on pressure cook. And I'm going to use one of the presets, which is rice, and I don't need to keep it warm, and then that'll just get going. That's beef in 12 minutes. I will come back and show you what my bibimbap looks like. I've come in the kitchen again after starting to edit this video. Going cross-eyed. So the Instant Pot is ready. Let's open it up. I'm just hoping it's going to be as good as it was the other day. Let's look. The pressure has released naturally. So off comes the lid. It's very steamy hot in there. As you can see, beef is beautifully cooked. I'm going to stir everything up together. I'd love to tell you how it smells, but as you may or may not know, I have zero smell, zero, which is a real shame. And that's been since COVID. There, look at that. That is some bowl of goodness. I'm going to try a little forkful now. And this has made loads actually. There's probably going to be enough here for maybe 3 days worth, unless someone comes around and has a little bit. Someone from the family, I mean. There's no dates coming here. Right, let's go for a bit of beef and some rice, I think. It is very hot. Honestly, that is just so much nicer than a takeaway. Genuinely now. Have a little. The mushrooms don't go all like squidgy. They keep their shape. And it's got a nice bit of texture. It's perfectly salted because the soy from the marinade went in. Oh, let's try an edamame, because I normally like these quite crunchy. Less crunchy than I would normally eat them, but they've still got plenty of texture. And I think probably when I serve that up later today, I'll warm it in the microwave and I'll put some sriracha over the top. The lady on TikTok whose recipe this is fried an egg and put that on top, and that would be nice as well. Nice runny egg, break it open and have it all over the rice. Quite excited about that. So I shall leave this video right there, finish editing, and I'm hoping to get this out today, Saturday, or maybe if not today, then tomorrow. Hope you're all well. Let me know in the comments what you're doing over the summer holidays. Anybody else got an Instant Pot? And if so, what are you making in it? And I'll see you on the next video.